Afrobeat, if I'm describing Afrobeat to somebody who has never heard Afrobeat before, I would describe Afrobeat as African classical music, which is a weird kind of title. The reason being is Afrobeat is very rich in sounds, is very rich in compositions, and it takes a lot of people to really develop this sound and this experience. So it's not like a computer and you're using logic to make a really simple beat. Afrobeat is living and it's breathing. Afrobeat really should never be recorded. It should only be experienced live. That's my personal opinion. So Afrobeat, you can call it African classical music, but for me, it's a live music that you have to experience when you're in the moment and hearing it live. My history and connection with Fela Kuti just stems down to my parents growing up. So my dad was always around the shrine. He'd always go and, have a smoke with Fela and have interesting conversations with Fela. And he was actually the first person that played Fela's music to me growing up. So I knew a few of Fela's tracks growing up. I never used to like Fela Kuti as a kid because I was into grime music and I was growing up in the UK. But as I grew older, I began to appreciate and discover actually Fela for myself, and discover and really get to understand the crucial messages that he was delivering. And I just fell in love with the composition. Trouble Sleep, Yanga Wickham, there's just certain particular tracks that I just fell in love with just because of I would just enjoy the 15 minutes of music before any vocals came in. So Fela for me is a real cultural compass for me, because he's the ideologies and the messages that he learned and later on began to put out in his music. The messages are very, 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 very relevant for Africa today as a whole. And as a musician called AfrikanBoy, it's important that I have an understanding of where I stand in my music and what kind of messages I want to put out. So Fela has always been important. And above all, he is a great performer. Absolutely electric performer, and I wish I got a chance to see him live, but of course not. But for me, I pride myself on being a performer, and Fela, when I watch him on stage through YouTube and stuff like that, it's absolutely captivating.